Hey, welcome back to another episode of Veach Season. I am your guest host, Rocky Magaña, joined as always by my other co-guest host, Kramer Sansone. We are filling in for Brett Veach this week, who is MIA since Cleveland. Cleveland rocks, and it rocked Brett Veach a little too hard, and I don't know what happened. Brett Veach, like you would have thought that like a trip like that trip to Miami or the trip to Atlanta or something like that would have been the one where Brett Veach like went out of pocket and got himself into trouble. But no, apparently we're filling in today because Brett Veach had a little bit too much of that Ohio goodness of those. Maybe he smoked a few too many Buckeyes, if you know what I mean, and now he's laid up and still trying to find his way back from the old Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Maybe he went to Travis Kelce's old stomping grounds with him and Kareem Hunt's old stomping grounds, and ended up passed out on a pull-out couch somewhere at the University of Cincinnati, and lost his cell phone's dead. One of those old movies, like you wake up, don't know where you're at, hungover.
Yeah, like the Hangover.
Yeah, like, dude, where's my car? Like, you don't have your phone's dead, you don't have your wallet, and you're on some random frat couch at the University of Cincinnati because Travis dumped you there because Taylor told him that he had to be home by midnight. You know what I mean?
Like, at least he was able to get out of Cleveland apparently then safely. Because Cleveland's a cesspool of just nastiness.
Horrible place. Like, nothing good comes out of Cleveland except for Travis Kelce, Drew Carey, LeBron James, James nearby. Let's think.
That's basically it.
My good friend
Major League the movie.
Yeah, Major League the movie. Kenny Lofton's career, Carlos Baerga,
CC Sabathia held his own there at one point.
Yeah, Jim Brown, Vinny Testaverde.
It's only sports figures that only good things come out of there. Nothing else.
Nothing else. Yeah. No, nothing else good has ever come out of there. Not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is also there. Lake Erie. It's a beautiful lake.
Yeah, it's a little eerie to me.
Gorgeous lake. It's a little eerie. Ooh, it's a little spooky. Yeah, it's a little eerie. There's islands in the Great Lakes.
Wait, what?
The Great Lakes are so effing big. They have islands in them.
Did not know that.
My friend Jillian, her husband did his bachelor party. They rented a cabin on an island in one of the Great Lakes.
That's sick, actually. That's sick.
Like, they're the size of seas. Like, there's shipwrecks, like full size.
Is that deep?
Shipwreck
Underneath?
Yes. Yes. In the Great Lakes.
That's ridiculous. I doubt that. That's amazing.
Like, they have like full on like shipping vessels that go back and forth across them in ports. Like, I've been to Lake Erie and Lake Michigan before, and you stare out over it and you can't see the other side, right? Because they're so massive.
Yeah, the Earth curvature, you can't see it.
It's like you're just staring out into the ocean, but it's a lake. It's crazy.
I've never experienced this. I wouldn't know.
It's like going to the ocean, but not the ocean. But you're in Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
You just
so
took
weird.
Me out. I mean, once you said Cleveland again, I just disgusting.
I know, it's essentially like going to Jersey Beach, right? But but in Ohio.
That's one way to put it.
And so
I missed you, Rocky. I'm glad you're back here veaching it up with me.
I tell you what, I've been on a cruise for the last week.
So you've been on the ocean. You've been chopping it up out there.
I chopping it up all across the Mexican Gulf, and I tell you what, I picked up a case of kennel cough there on the boat.
Oh, so it's a petri dish, man. That's why I never go on those things.
It is a total petri dish. I dropped my kid off at this place called Camp Ocean. It was a Carnival cruise, and they have this thing called Camp Ocean where you can drop your kid off if they want to. They do crafts and stuff. And the moment I dropped him off, I heard some kid with the black lung in there going,
"Oh no!"
And I was like, "We're all getting sick the moment that them off. Let me tell you what, cruises are a lot of fun if you are a single dude or a young adult without children and you have a free drink pass. Cruises
Gotcha.
Cruises are less fun if you have 2 toddlers who are going to bed at 7 p.m. every single night, and you're all sleeping in the same room. And like, you could go out. I could go out to the bars after the kids went to bed, but then my wife is alone in a
With
dark
kids.
with the kids who are sleeping, and we're all in the same room, right? So like, even if you turn on the TV, you risk like waking up the baby. So it's like, do I tell my wife like sayonara? You're sitting in a dark, quiet room by yourself all day, and there's no cell service, so you're literally playing the one video game on the iPad that doesn't require cell phone service because we used all of our downloads on Netflix for shows for the kids. Right? So it's like,
how many nights was this?
7. So instead, you suffer in silence together because you're married and you're partners, and that's what you do when you're married and you're a partner with somebody, so that they don't have to sit in silence in a room at 7:30 p.m. every night. You sit with them in the room at like 7:30 every night in silence until you both just drift off to sleep at like 9 p.m. And then the baby wakes up at 5 a.m. because it's not their house. And then you have a choice. It's like you either take the baby out of the room so they don't wake up the 3-year-old, or you leave them in there and the 3-year-old's awake also. So then you're rock, paper, scissoring it with your spouse to who draws the short straw that they got to get their ass out of bed and take the 18-month-old up to the snack bar to get a muffin and some orange juice so that he doesn't scream his head off and wake up his older brother.
You are a trooper, buddy.
Yeah. And then, but along those lines, I did negotiate with my wife, and I did just say, you know what? I love you, but I love the Chiefs more. And when the Chiefs played the Chargers, I said, sorry, you're going to be sitting in the darkness by yourself tonight. I'm going down to the sports bar, and I'm going to watch the game, and I'm going to drink lots of alcohol. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to come back sober enough, though, to take care of business if a baby wakes up.
How'd that go? Okay, good.
I did that. I saw the donk victory. There was tons of Chiefs fans on this boat for some reason. It left out of Tampa, Florida, but it was filled with Chiefs fans.
Nice.
So the bar was packed, and we were just rocking and rolling, and drinks were flowing. And my dad was like, "Here, you can drink on my tab tonight." And I'm like, "I'm a grown man. I could pay for my own tab." And he said, "It's Christmas." And I said, "You're absolutely right. And I'm your child. And it's time to make this holiday magical for me." And so he paid my tab. And so
nice. Wait, I thought cruises were all inclusive. I didn't realize you had like
if you have the drink pass.
Oh, okay.
He had the drink pass.
I bet.
But I knew that I had 2 toddlers.
Yeah, exactly. You're being adult about it, and he's just like, you know what? Let's live it up tonight.
Yeah. So he said, "All right."
Did you do a desk pop?
I knew I wasn't going to be able to use the drink pass, right? And so, but I used it that night. And then one other night, he was like, "Hey, I want you to go to the casino with me one night while we're on this cruise."
There's a casino on there?
Oh yeah, there's a full casino on every cruise.
Could you feel the movement? I'm curious on that part.
Yes. It was stormed like 3 of the days we were on the ocean.
Yeah, that's why I don't do that.
The waves were big.
And was that terrifying?
No, because the boat is even bigger. Like the waves were big outside, and you could feel it, but you never felt like anything was going to happen with the boat. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a massive boat. It's 10 stories tall.
I'm never going to do that. No, thank you.
It's a 10-story tall boat. Like nothing was going to happen. It was great. But yes, then I went to the casino, and I lost about $140 at the casino. But then my dad won like $1,300 on the trip playing penny slots.
No way.
So here's my dad is such a gambling addict in the penny slots that like the reason why we went on the cruise is that Carnival offered him free cruises to get him on their boat to gamble, and all he had to do was pay the taxes on our tickets. And so for Christmas, he was like, hey, let's go on this week-long cruise because I'm getting free cruises because I spend so much money gambling on these damn things that and my dad's not a rich man. He's just a degenerate like I am. And so he won like $1,300 on the penny slots on this cruise. He won $400 the night I was with him. And we were playing the exact same penny slots. We were only playing the penny slots because I was just down there to drink. Because the cool thing is when you have the drink pass, you get to drink you and one companion. So I got to drink for free on his drink pass when I was in the casino. And I made sure that night that I pushed it as close. Like me and my wife have the deal where, okay, go out, have some drinks, but come back and you better have your shit together and be able to help out with the kids. I'm not going to take care of a drunk ass, grown ass man and screaming babies at the same time. Like that's fine. That's reasonable to me, right? I'm a grown man. I can handle my own shit. So I pushed it as close as I could to that line though. In the casino, like I was like, one more. And the lady who was our server was from the Philippines. So we were talking about when I lived in the Philippines and the drinks were flowing. And I was switching back and forth between beer and margaritas,
mixing it.
I was mixing it, but I was also trying to mix the strengths, right? To try to if I felt like I was getting too close to the edge, I'd have a beer to like kind of level it back out until I felt good. And then I'd have another margarita, right? And so I was kind of like leveling it out a little bit. And I danced the dangerous dance to a success without tipping over. In the casino, and I got home, and an hour and a half after I got back to our room, the baby woke up and wanted a bottle, and I made the baby a bottle and put him back down.
That a boy.
I went to sleep, and everything was great. And I got up the next day and handled my shit, and it was an adult, and I only hated myself until I had my fourth cup of coffee, right? But I wasn't too hungover, and then we went to Honduras, Mexico, and Belize, right? And
Jeez, I'll tell you what, hitting all the places.
I tell you what, Belize was the best place. Belize was unbelievable. It was I know.
Okay. How many times did you say that while you were there?
150.
I bet you did.
Guys, every other second, I'd like see a Belize guy. He'd be like, "Hey, welcome to my country." I'm like, "Oh, your country's unbelievable." He was like, "Oh, never heard that one before, tourist." And I was like, yeah, I know. Sorry.
You're exposing yourself, buddy.
I'm totally exposing myself. No, but so I like Belize so much because basically I did whatever anybody else wanted to do on this trip, right? Like which is essentially I had my 67-year-old dad, his partner, her mother who's in her 90s, and then my wife and my two little children. So we were not an adventuring crew. If you can imagine, right? Yeah. My dad has had some medical issues. He's currently using a walker. Like it's like we're not moving quick, no matter where we go, and we're not out there trying to Lara Croft Tomb Raider this shit. But we got to Belize. I was like, guys, I got this. I got Belize. I got a plan. And so we walked out of the port, and I walked down the road. I walked past all the taxi drivers, all the people trying to sell tours, everything. I found this guy, and he had like a 1996 Honda Odyssey minivan. And he was like, I'll take you on a tour around this island for $30 a person. And we had 5 adults and 2 children. And I said, I'm not paying $30 for a child. They're free. And he said, you're right. They should be free. And I said, okay. And then I said, I don't want a tour around the island. I want to pay you for an hour and a half of your time. And he was going to be a 2-hour tour around the island. I was like, I want to pay you for an hour and a half of your time, and I'll give you $50. And so like $30 for 5 adults. You do the math. That should have been $100.
Yeah, you did.
Right?
Did he accept it?
And he goes, no, that's ridiculous. And I was like, it was like $75 for an hour, and I was like, I'll give you $60 for an hour and a half. And he said, deal. I said, good. He said, well, where do you want to go? I said, I want you to take me where there are 0 white people. I want to go where there's no white people. I want to go where you and your buddies wake up in the morning after a long night of drinking, because this is in the morning. It was in the
Belize, man.
I know. I want to go where your buddies wake up after a long night of drinking and you want a hangover breakfast. I want to go to that place where you go to eat breakfast. your favorite spot there. And he said, I got the place. And he was like, get, it's like, we got everybody in the car. And he drove us to the south side of Belize, of the city of Belize, which is the poorer side, right? You know, we got the street dogs going around.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in my element. I felt awesome. We went to the true side, the true Belizean side, in the back of this lady named Carmen's house, right? And she has like a little restaurant set up, like in like an outdoor kitchen area that's attached to her house, right? Like her kids are inside, her grandkids, her dogs, whatever, like hanging out in the yard. And she makes us refried black beans, eggs, chicken, like a beef caldereta kind of dish, and fried jacks, which are essentially like this Belizean fried like bread, like paste, like tortilla, almost like a puffy tortilla. It's like a half moon. It's the most delicious thing in the world, and it was the best meal I've ever had. We ate that and drank.
You had the authentic stuff.
Yeah, drank about 4 Belizean Belican beers each, and the whole family, we feasted for an hour straight at this place, and then just had them drive us back to the port. And that's the only thing we did in Belize, because
that's amazing.
Because by that point, you know, the older crew was getting tired. They wanted to go back to the ship and that sort of thing. But we had one legit, true, authentic Belizean meal.
Nice.
And it was the best meal I think I've had in the last 10 years. Like, it was better than anything I ate on the ship, which is saying something, because Guy's Burgers, Guy Fieri has a burger joint on cruise. This is my first cruise ever, so this is all new to me. But he has a burger joint on the cruise ships, and they're the best smash burgers I've ever had in my life.
No kidding.
They're amazing. They're awesome. They're super awesome. But this was better than the burgers. Like, this is better than anything, than the steakhouse we went to. Like Miss Carmen's house in Belize. It was the spot, right? And so I would.
So hey, shout out to you, Miss Carmen's.
Shout out to you, Miss Carmen. I've already looked up the recipe to make fried jacks, which is what the pastry, like the fried tortillas, are called. I got the recipe memorized in my head.
You better make it. See if you can try to recreate it.
Oh, I'm gonna try to recreate. I'll give you guys the recipe right now if you want to try it. All right, in a large bowl, you're gonna take 2 cups. You're gonna take 2 cups of flour, 3 teaspoons of baking powder. You're gonna take a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of optional sugar, 3 tablespoons of either butter or shortening. The traditional thing is to use a shortening. And then 1 cup of either coconut milk, whole milk, or water, depending upon where you're at. I mean, like basically, depending upon how wealthy you are, depends on what you're using in it and how important the meal is, right? Like, if you're rich, you're using milk. Right? If you're kind of in the middle, or if you're on the poorer side, but it's a special meal, you're using coconut milk. If you're waking up and just making breakfast on a slow Tuesday, you're using water, right? Like, you're putting water in your cereals.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
you know what I mean?
Not that, but
yeah. No, but like, you know what I mean?
I'm not putting water in my cereal milk. I'm good.
You never seen Friday? Put water.
No, I have. I know. I have.
Put water. A little water will hurt you.
I'm still never going to do that.
Listen, your ass wasn't poor like we were poor growing up if you didn't have to put water in your damn cereal every now and then.
Heck, we had to eat that cereal dry, buddy.
Oh man, we put water in it. I'm not gonna lie. We put water, like when we did have milk, when the milk jug got to like a quarter of the way empty, we filled it back up with water also.
Oh man, that's 2%.
Yeah, and that 2% became 0.2% real quick. Yeah, but so then you put the cup of either milk or water in it, right? You stir it all up, you mix it up to make your dough. You separate out that dough into 10 different little balls so that it sit for 10 minutes. Then you take your palm, you smash them flat like a tortilla or like a pizza dough, but you just don't worry about making it perfect. Just smash them flat till they're about 1/4 of an inch thick. Take a knife, cut them in half, and then put a slit in the top of each one to let the air out. Fry them in vegetable oil for 3 to 4 minutes until golden brown on each side. Bam, baby. Eat that stuff with refried beans and a protein of your choice, and like eggs or chicken or whatever, and it'll get you done. It'll do you right. It's some good shit.
Sounds like some good shit.
Yeah. So now that we've talked for 20 minutes, what's up with Krame Dog?
Nothing too big or spectacular. I mean, we're not going to go sports related by any means on this, but there's drones flying over New Jersey. I'm not sure if you saw anything while you're out in your Carnival Cruise Line down south, but I wouldn't say it's to be concerning or alarming, but it's really odd that the Pentagon doesn't know what the entity is using these little aircraft. So put tinfoil hat on, Rocky. We're not alone.
Could be.
Could be. There's evidence.
The U.S. government is denying that it's them.
Yep.
My take is I think it's them.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely them.
I think it's 100% them.
What are they looking for is what I'm curious.
They're performing surveillance.
Uh-huh. I thought it was UFOs trying to, because, I mean, it's in New Jersey. That's where the Jets play. I don't know if there's some sort of ayahuasca trip that we know that Aaron Rodgers does. Maybe they're trying to reconnect with him, possibly, but I'm open to any conclusions at this point.
I heard a rumor from somebody who, I mean, not super reliable, but also not incredibly full of shit either.
Okay.
That there was a possible military grade weapon that was misplaced.
Yep, I heard that one as well.
Or missing. And that's the reason why. But this person is like, it's not like just like a random like dude saying it on Facebook. Like this is somebody who may have some sort of knowledge, but not like insider knowledge by any means, right? Like he's not like like he's not a total dumbass, but at the same time, not necessarily it's not like it's like, you know,
I got you.
It's not somebody in the Biden administration slipping me secret documents, you know.
No kidding. My goodness.
So CIA, don't come knocking at my door. It's a buddy of mine that said he heard from a guy. Just
blame Sleepy Joe at this point.
Yeah. Sleepy Joe accidentally tweeted it out, right? Yeah. But so don't come knocking at my door. FBI or CIA. I don't know.
Likewise.
NSA. You know, they could be listening on this conversation right now, and we would never even know because we're broadcasting this onto YouTube for everybody to hear.
Wouldn't that be something?
On Apple Podcasts. I mean, it's not like they're tapping our phone lines to see what we're talking about here. We're
it's not like you're an iPhone or an Android texting each other right now where China can see it, so it's okay. You know, let's just take the conspiracy hats off and just put it to the side now. We're good. That's what's hot with Krame Dog.
Yeah, we're good. We're not going to delve in any further. But you know, Krame, we do have a new 5-star review.
Yes. I teased it last week, and my goodness, what an absolute banger of a 5-star review.
What an absolute gem of a human being that left this review. This is probably, I'm going to say, this is the best 5-star review we've ever had. Content wise. It's a masterpiece.
Bravo. I'm not saying bravo already. It's that good.
It's by Mr. Larry Quinn, Senior Larry Quinn. You are the greatest Larry that's ever existed. Better than Larry Flint.
And the cable guy.
Better than Larry Bird. Better than Larry the Cable Guy. Better than Larry? Better than Larry from Larry Moe and Curly from the Three Stooges. Better than Larry Walker. Better than Larry Walker.
Yeah, you can say Larry Walker.
Better than Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, I can't think of any Larrys right now. All I can think of is Impractical Jokers Larry, the guy that they yell for. He's better than that guy.
Better than Impractical Jokers Larry.
Larry!
What other Larrys are there? Any other Larrys we can think of? I almost said Daryl, but that's from the Newhart show. I'm Daryl. This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
I think I do know what you're talking about. I think I've seen this
a little before your time, Krame.
I've seen this clip on X, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was a bit on the Bob Newhart show, or on Newhart. It was this other show he had called Newhart, where these three neighbors would walk in. They were these guys, and they were all named Daryl, and they were brothers. But anyway, enough about the Daryls. We're talking about the king of all Larrys. Oh, Larry King, better than Larry.
Yeah, it's true. There we go.
He is the king of all Larrys. Mr. Larry Quinn, the biggest badass we know. Here's his review. The title is Not Trash, 98% Fresh. Hell yeah, mother effer. 98% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, bitches. I'm gonna read
Word for word.
masterpiece word for word in its entirety and give it the respect, the GD respect that it deserves. Listening to Veach season during a sleepover is an exceptional experience that captures the essence of late night Chiefs Kingdom chaos and introspection. The podcast's dreamy melodies and raw emotional lyrics provide the perfect backdrop for those fleeting moments when a group of friends transition from laughing hysterically over snacks to sharing secrets in hushed tones. Picture this. You're all sprawled out across a blanket fort, the glow of fairy lights casting soft shadows, and Veach season fills the room with its warm lo-fi vibes. Each track seems to spark a new conversation, whether it's about the unrequited crush or the fight you had with your best friend last week. It's a podcast that makes you feel like it understands the highs and lows of being a Chiefs fan. Then comes the inevitable round of Spin the Bottle. The nervous energy ramps up, but the podcast keeps things grounded. Conversations between Rocky Magaña and Kramer Sansone create a romantic atmosphere, while the more upbeat segments add a playful, carefree vibe. When someone lands their spin and leans in for a kiss, the room collectively holds its breath. The podcast softly underscoring the moment. By the time the podcast loops back to the beginning, it feels like part of the night, woven into the laughter, awkwardness, and bonding that sleepovers are made of. Veach season isn't just a podcast. It's a mood, a memory maker, and the kind of excitement that reminds you why these nights are so special. God damn, Mr. Larry Quinn. I want to play Spin the Bottle with your ass right now underneath the fairy lights and the soft glow of a blanket fort. I mean, even just the scene that you painted was so gosh darn cozy.
I could see it. I had to close my eyes.
Oh my gosh, I was just there. I was there in the moment. I was there in the blanket fort.
We were the fly on the wall watching the Spin the Bottle.
Watching the Spin the Bottle. I wanted to be a part of the Spin the Bottle. I mean, it was just woven into the laughter. Each track seems to spark a new conversation about its unrequited crush or the fight you had with your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's poetic. Life. That's life is poetry, and that was life in a nutshell, wrapped up in a nice little blanket fort cozy burrito and fed to us on a platter by a literary master, Mr. Larry Quinn.
Oh,
Larry Quinn. Oh, Larry.
Bravo.
You are. Fan of the Year award goes to, drum roll please, mother effing Mr. Larry Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
We love you, buddy. You are the best.
That was amazing.
That was amazing. And every great thing in the world should be given to you. Every bar you walk into, somebody should toast to you and buy you a beer.
I'd have a beer with you right now.
I'd have a beer with you right now. Hell yeah, Larry Quinn. That was amazing. All right. Moving on to Pop Kingdom.
Veach season, baby.
Veach season, baby. We're finally 30 minutes into the podcast, and we are getting to our rundown of things we want to talk about today. Krame, I'm going to try to get you off in time to watch your Raiders lose, but no promises.
Hey, no worries.
I finally got around to watching Holiday Touchdown.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
What's your review? Could you give it an A, you give it a B, a C?
They fumbled the ball on it, if you ask me.
Really?
It's a rough watch.
I haven't had time to watch it yet.
I give it a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes if I was giving it a rating. It was the best part about it was obviously all the Chiefs cameos and all the Chiefs talk and all the Chiefs everything.
Yeah.
But like the whole thing centers around like Independence and the shopping district in Independence and how the best barbecue in Kansas City is in this place in Independence. And listen, no disrespect to Independence.
Wait, what's the barbecue they pick? I haven't watched it, so what's the?
It's a fictional. It's just a random fictional place that they have in Independence. It was essentially like a tourism video for Independence, Missouri.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Not the best. Not the best product and foot forward that we've seen. Donna Kelsey has a cameo in it as a waitress or a hostess at the barbecue restaurant, which was fine to have her as a cameo. Love the cameos.
Yeah, of course.
It's an odd role for her to be as a cameo, right? Like, why not just have her be Travis Kelsey's mom?
It would make more sense, right? Because, I mean, that's who she is.
That's who she is, right? And so, but whatever.
Okay, then. All right.
I'm not here to besmirch a Chiefs fan or a filmmaker, but the movie didn't land with me, one of the biggest Chiefs fans in the world. So I can only imagine how it would land with a Raiders hooligan like you.
Haven't been able to watch it yet. I'll let you know when I do watch it. I have been confirmed that it has been at least somewhat decent because my mother had enjoyed it more than watching Wicked. So there's something there.
That just tells me your mother has terrible taste in movies.
No, she loves The Wicked Witch of the West, and that's the other thing she likes about the movie, Wizard of Oz series. She portrayed that's a different podcast for a different day.
We're not talking about mothers today. We'll get into mommy issues on another podcast when we have a therapist here to help us unpack all this shit. So 4% on Rotten Tomatoes. Moving on though, also Snoop Dogg has a new album out this past week called Missionary, produced by Dr. Dre.
Nice.
And I tell you what, it's got a little bit more of a throwback vibe than some of his other stuff. He also has a couple of tracks where he tries a couple new things that work. All in all, I would say B-.
That's still not bad for Snoop this late in his career. Yeah, that's not bad.
It's good. Yeah, for Snoop this late in his career, it's a great album. Dr. Dre's beats on it are dope as hell.
Are they good? Okay, that's what I can't wait for.
His beats are awesome. 50 Cent has a couple verses, and he drops 16 bars at one point that are really good.
Eminem is Marshall in there?
Yeah, Marshall has an appearance that
sweet,
and he's really good. It's a good album, not a great album. I would say I would put it underneath. I put it clearly below Eminem's album that came out this year, and I would put it well below Kendrick Lamar's new album, GNX, as well. One album I did discover this week that I had never. I mean, I'm an old guy, so sometimes I just don't know new music when it comes out or who a person is.
Okay.
But I randomly came across this album, and I've listened to it like 7 times, and I'm so old that I have not even Googled how to pronounce their name correctly yet. So I can't even say the name of the person with any confidence.
Oh boy, who is it? Just try. I want to see if I know.
Doechii? Pronounced Doechii. Spelled Doechii.
Don't know who that is. I might have heard of him. Like heard his lyrics or whatever.
She's a rapper. And the name of her album is Alligator Bites Never Heal.
Okay.
And
is it good?
It is.
It's a banger?
Fabulous. It is a banger. Every single track is a banger. The track Stankapoo, Boiled Peanuts, Denial is a River, Catfish.
Okay.
I mean, all of them, dude. Nissan Altima is another song on there. Death Roll, all of them. Every song is a banger on this album.
Okay.
Bullfrog. You need to check it out.
Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it.
You should listen to it. It's dope. Look it up. I don't know how it's pronounced. We need to Google how it's pronounced because I need to give her the respect as an artist that she deserves. She looks like she's making a statement with her choice of clothing in that photo that just popped up.
Okay.
All right. Jayla Jemiah Hickman, known professionally as Doechii, which there is no There's no pronunciation there. Yeah, there's no pronunciation given next to her name. So we're gonna say Dochi. It could be Doechii because it's like two I's and a Doechii. If you guys know the phonetic spelling of it,
I'll be completely honest. I'm not sure. Not many people would.
Yeah, let me know if anybody's out there. Turns out, looks like she's born and raised in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, that's why she's your neighbor. She's probably your neighbor.
She's probably my neighbor. Oh, she's signed to Top Dog.
Nice.
Which is TDE, which is who Kendrick Lamar came up with. So that makes sense. Check her out. She's cool. I like her. She's worth a listen. Anyway, also newly came out, Jamie Foxx has a new stand-up that came out on Netflix recently. And I only know about it because Halle Berry retweeted a clip from it. And
Halle Berry.
I'm going to retweet this clip while we're on the podcast right now so that everybody can see it. Go out there and check out this Halle Berry tweet that I just reposted of a clip from the Jamie Foxx Netflix stand-up. Because in it, it's 2.5 minutes of Jamie Foxx talking about this time where he ran into Halle Berry and she gave him a hug. And he spent the entire interaction trying to convince his penis not to get a boner because he didn't want to make it awkward because it was just a friendship hug. And he knew it was just a friendship hug, but his penis didn't want to listen to him. And he was basically telling his penis the whole time to stand down and not make him look like a creep in front of Halle Berry. And then Halle Berry retweeted this clip because awesome. She's so effing cool.
Yeah, Halle Berry's amazing. That's I'd be Jamie Foxx in that situation as well.
Like, honest to God, Halle Berry comes in to give you a hug. How many seconds until you ruin the situation by getting an erection?
If she's walking through the door.
Yeah, it's like she doesn't even get in for the hug. She doesn't even get to me to have a hug. She goes in for the hug and she's just like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, basically.
She feels the tent pole and is like, I'm good. I'm just gonna go put some space between me, you, and have my security come escort you out of whatever situation this is.
Sort of spraying the spray bottle or something.
Yeah, I just get maced immediately, and I just start drooling like Danny DeVito, and just being like when they ask like what's the password, I'm just like orgy. I'm like Howie, and then she just gets creeped out and walks away. Oh, and that's how that goes. And then my wife is standing next to me probably, and she just files for divorce. And it's like, you disgust me. Don't ever look at me again. I'd say, well, worth it. Cause, for 1 microsecond, she bumped into me before she was disgusted.
That's fair. In that analogy, yeah you got a point.
I had a point. That is true.
At one point, you had a point.
At one point, I definitely had a point. A little too much of a point.
Pitched a 10, I see.
I would always have that 0.2 seconds of bliss before Halle Berry hated me forever, and I was known as the world's biggest creep, and then lived the rest of my life in shame. Rightfully so, right? It would be rightfully so and deserve shame.
Yeah.
But at the same time, would it be worth it? I can't say. Would it be worth throwing away the future relationship with my wife and the respect of my children for 0.02 seconds of bliss with Halle Berry? I might burn it all to the ground and throw it all away for her.
Oh my God! For 2 seconds? No, 0.02 seconds.
She's Halle Berry, bro.
That's true. You're right. I get it. I do.
On my epitaph of my tombstone. Right? When I die old and alone, it'll just say like why his life ended up like shit. It was Halle Berry, bro.
It's her fault.
That's the quote. It was Halle Berry, bro. Right there. All right. So 40 minutes into the podcast, let's talk about the Chiefs.
We'll talk about what part of it do you want to talk about? Because my goodness, yesterday was something.
It was something. I think we have to start off with Patrick Mahomes' injury.
Yeah.
Right.
Not good. Not good.
Confirmed, not broken, nothing torn, high ankle sprain, right? So what? High ankle sprain, generally 3 to 6 weeks recovery. We see Patrick Mahomes play the very next week with it and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That being said, going to 2-game lead on the 1 seed over the Bills right now, 2 games in 11 days. Does it going up against Will Anderson Jr. and a very potent Houston Texans pass rush, that also has, Danielle Hunter on the opposite side of Will Anderson Jr. Like, I don't love that matchup.
But you also don't love the matchup after that either. So what are we going to do here? Does Pat play? Does the fact that he got folded up like a lawn chair on the 4th of July?
First of all, where was the flag getting hit high and low simultaneously after he was already in the grass, right? Like that should have been a flag, first of all. By the rules, that should have been a flag. True. You can't hit a quarterback high and low simultaneously. It's in the rule book.
Yeah, but no, you're right.
It was bang bang. I'm not going to say blah 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 blah. I'm not.
He's also going forward, so you don't know if he's going to continue to run. It's
tough. It's a tough call.
It's not a good look though for the Chiefs because he should never been put in that situation. I'm just saying.
No,
4th and 3. No, come on.
Yeah. First of all, why are you going for it on 4th?
You're up 21-7.
Yeah, like
your defense has been amazing.
Andy Reid never goes for it on 4th down. He chooses that situation to be like the guy that's like, okay, I'm going to go for it, to like pull out his best Nick Sirianni impersonation and go for it on 4th down. I didn't get it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that they went away from the run in the second half.
Yeah,
I understand it. Like, I don't hate it. Like, I'm not going to blast them as much as everybody else has been blasting them.
How do you understand it though? How?
I understand it because the rush wasn't extremely effective either, and I understand you're trying to move the ball and extend the drive, and you want to run time off the clock. Right now, that being said, he threw like 6 straight incomplete passes. Nothing was working, but then at the same time, Chiefs don't want to put anything on tape, against the Cleveland Browns either. So they're going with a very limited playbook, so in that situation, you should have just handed the ball off, right? And then punted. Listen, it wasn't the right call, but I don't think it was like malpractice like people are making it out to be.
It doesn't make sense though. It just doesn't. Like you were on a stretch of you could not get anything going through the air. So why didn't you just turn it over back to the run game? A hole could have opened up there. All the running backs looked great yesterday. P. Ryan looked good.
Yeah,
he looked elusive.
Listen, it wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look
on 4th and 3. It's like I really don't understand
100%. You shouldn't have gone for it on 4th and 3. That was an asinine decision. That was stupid. There was no reason to have Mahomes out there going for it on 4th and 3. Right? There's no reason to throw the ball. There's no reason to go for it in that situation. It was horrible. And we've also talked about in the past, like you got to grade the Chiefs on a different scale than you grade everybody else, right? So Andy Reid's one of the greatest head coaches of all time. A bad game for him, he still wins it, but it doesn't mean he shouldn't be called out on his shitty plays that he called and his shitty decisions, right? Like he's held to a higher standard than every other coach in the NFL because he's Andy Reid. He's one of the highest winning coaches of all time. He's won three of the last 5 Super Bowls, and he's a contender to win it this year, right? He's a favorite to win it this year. Hold him to a high standard. I get it. At the same time, people like cussing Andy Reid out and cussing his name and saying that he's an idiot and he's a moron and he's stupid. Like, it was all over social media. Like, after the game, people are so pissed off at Andy Reid and he's horrible and he sucks and blah, 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 blah. Still put some respect on the man's name, you spoiled brats. You've won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years, and you're 13-1 with a 2-game lead on the 1 seed in the NFL. It's hard to do that, right? Like, so all the pissiness out there, like, fine, call him out on his bullshit and on the bad play calling and the bad decisions, 100%. The man is still a legend, and he still has this team in the best spot of any team in the NFL to win the Super Bowl. with Hollywood Brown still coming back from injury, with Harrison Butker working his way back from injury, hopefully with DJ Humphries coming back from injury, right?
Yeah.
And so my biggest criticism of the game this weekend is that I think that they said that the Joe Tooney at left tackle was the break glass in case of emergency. I think that should only been the first break glass in case of emergency. They should have put Nick Bolton in the backfield as a fullback the entire game. And if Myles Garrett gets free, just tackle him. Just tackle him and take the 10 yards. Who cares? Grab him, tackle him to the ground, hold him there, take the flag, go back 10 yards. Don't let Mahomes get hit. It doesn't matter.
I mean, but Myles Garrett didn't do much anyways yesterday. I feel like they did a very good job to contain him.
Fine. Do it on either. Just put him in the backfield. Anybody gets through, tackle him. You're Nick Bolton. Just tackle the guy. Don't let him through. And then take the 10 yards. Like the Chiefs moving backwards for 10 yards versus Mahomes getting hit or Mahomes getting sacked. Like it's a wash, right? Because you're losing the down regardless. And the sack, and you're losing yards regardless. Just tackle the guy. Like at this point, because the Chiefs were going to win the game.
Yeah.
Even if they did that, the Chiefs would have won the game.
I mean, it felt like the entire time the Chiefs had this game from start to finish anyways. So
they did, especially because the defense created 6 turnovers.
Yeah. My goodness, the defense yesterday was amazing.
I tell you what, Jameis Winston is the offensive version of the Chiefs secondary where he is the get-right game.
Yeah, they needed it. They really did need it. They seriously did.
He's the motivational speaker version of offense in the NFL where he just holds onto the ball and throws it into coverage and wants to push the ball downfield.
He did not care about Trent McDuffie at all. And that's what's amazing because he got his first interception. Like, let's go. Bravo, Trent McDuffie. Let's go.
Trent Mother effing McDuffie got his first interception by looking up at the screen, seeing that the ball was in the air, and then turning around and catching it.
That's amazing. Nuts.
That's amazing.
He also went through a face mask on that too. Like he had to battle adversity to like hold on to that bad boy.
Yeah, that was a hell of a play on the ball too. And he just turned around and went up, got it.
I just hate how all the defensive highlight moments is literally being outshined by the Mahomes injury. Like seriously, like I think people have forgotten the fact that the defense is the main reason why they won that game yesterday. And like, hey, defense wins championships, and so be it. If say Patrick isn't able to suit up this week, Carson Wentz is still serviceable. That dude he used to be a former MVP candidate. I know that was a while back, 2018, 2019. Who knows? Who cares? I know it wasn't the team that he helped lead to the Super Bowl, which it was that team. Carson Wentz is able to do it. Like I want to see Carson Wentz at least one of these games. We need to see Carson Wentz.
Before Carson Wentz got injured that year that Nick Foles won the Super Bowl for the Eagles, he was the MVP candidate that season.
Yeah, that was that year.
He was a stud. He came back. He wasn't the same player after that ever, but I mean, he has the ability to win a game.
He's got the mentals.
Yeah, he's got the mentals. And
it's
honestly,
the execution.
The Browns were one of the hottest offenses in the NFL, and the Chiefs went out there and completely shut them down and walked away with a 2-score victory. Like I understand that we're always like, we're pissed off that Patrick Mahomes got injured, and we're pissed off that we threw the ball, and we're pissed off we didn't run the ball enough. The defense created 6 turnovers against one of the hottest defenses in the NFL, and a team that's been continually winning by last-second 1-score victories and donk field goals against the Chargers. Walked away with a 14-point victory, and Chiefs fans are pissed off. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's the regular season. The regular season doesn't matter to the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes isn't playing for regular season victories. Andy Reid isn't playing for regular season victories. They're a means to an end, which is to get the 1 seed and win the Super Bowl. Listen, Ty Cobb had the most hits of anybody in the history of Major League Baseball. He has the highest batting average of anybody in the history of Major League Baseball. He was also a racist piece of shit. But on top of that,
hey, by the way, Josh Gibson retook that. They put the Negro League stats in.
Good. Thank God.
Yes, sir.
All right. Josh Gibson took it. Fine. Prior to Josh Gibson taking it, Ty Cobb had it. Ty Cobb is not regarded higher than who you want to say than Mickey Mantle as a player.
Yeah, Mickey championships.
Seven World Series rings, right? 7 worlds. You want to talk about pure hitter? Like, I'm not saying that Ty Cobb, like a baseball aficionado like you, if I say who's the better pure hitter, Ty Cobb or Ted Williams?
Cobb. But Ted Williams is so damn good too.
Yeah, Cobb had Ted Williams by 0.2 points in career batting average, right?
That's very minuscule too. That's very close.
You ask I say if you're on Family Feud and you pull 100 people, more people are saying Ted Williams than Ty Cobb.
Yeah.
Across the nation. And that's because he's more recognizable because he had 5 World Series rings. Ted Williams and Tony Gwynn, their career batting averages are only 0.06 points different from each other.
So close. Oh my goodness.
So close. But I mean, if you ask who's a better hitter, Tony Gwynn or Ted Williams, people are saying Ted Williams.
I'm saying Tony. Me personally, I'm saying Tony.
I mean, Tony was a hell of it. Listen, Tony.
You need a hit. Tony will get you. He'll even tell you
where it's going to be. He was one of the best pure hitters. Like that's why when everybody was pissing and moaning about the shift, I was like, F it. Don't change the rules. Tony Gwynn would have beat the shift every damn time.
Yep.
George Brett would have beat the shift every damn time. Ty Cobb, Ted Williams, real hitters, Kirby Puckett, every one of those dudes would have beat the shift every damn time that you tried to put it up against them. And if these hitters want to worry about swinging for the fences and their launch trajectory and pulling the ball, fine. But there's consequences that go with that. That's another podcast. That's another time. I'm not going to get into why I think that banning the shift was bullshit. But that being said, Mickey Mantle was playing for World Series rings and championships in his career. If he didn't win a World Series, then it was a failed season. Ty Cobb and, insert other great baseball players, even George Brett to an extent. George Brett got 1 ring, right? Got 1 championship.
Yep.
But for the bulk of his career, he wasn't playing for World Series championships.
He was fighting to get there.
He was fighting to get. He was fighting to get to 3,000 hits. He was fighting to win batting titles. He was fighting to win games. I'm not saying he wasn't a competitor. I wasn't saying he wasn't any of those things. But if Mickey Mantle is Patrick Mahomes, George Brett's a lot more Josh Allen than he is Patrick Mahomes. In the grand scheme of things.
It's true. It's true. I hate agreeing with you on this.
And there's nothing wrong with being Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to win the MVP this year. Josh Allen is a fabulous quarterback, but he's not playing for championships yet.
No.
He's not. That's that may be his goal, but if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, they're not like, oh, Josh Allen had a failed season. Like the media isn't like Josh Allen had a failed season if they don't win the Super Bowl. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't win the Super Bowl, then he's fallen off. It's a failed season. That's why we're talking Kobe. We're talking Jordan. This is the level that we're Gretzky. Like this is the level we're talking about. The Chiefs are playing for different prizes than the other teams.
I think we could solidify when the Chiefs do go to the Super Bowl this year. We can say Mahomes is on that Jordan level. I think we can. It's finally start talking. We need to speak that into existence.
It's when he's done something that nobody else in the history of the NFL has done. Right? Nobody's won 3 straight Super Bowls, and so you'll say, like you talk about in that Jordan level, because he's done the thing that nobody else did. Right? He's one of one at that point. Andy Reid is one of one at that point. So the Chiefs are playing for different things. We're gonna get out of here quick because I'm not gonna keep you from being in your away from your game tonight too long. Even though your team is shit and they're gonna lose, and I hate everything about them.
They gave us safety already this game.
Yeah, they're garbage.
That's how it's going.
Really quick, running through some other injuries. Hollywood Brown is coming back though, so Chiefs offense.
Do we like that though? Do we need that? Do we really need that?
Yeah, we do need that because Xavier Worthy struggles to get separation despite he needs to get stronger and he needs to develop. Like he's still a rookie
He
wide
just has to
receiver.
eat. Just start eating. Just start eating. Go on the Zion Williamson diet.
Yeah, he's got to start eating. Hollywood Brown, yeah, he's a better route runner. He can get more. Hollywood Brown and DeAndre Hopkins with Juju Smith-Schuster is a trio I really like. And then using Xavier Worthy as just like a deep seam guy to hit shots down the field, I like that a lot more. So yeah, no, if they had Rashee Rice, they would have too many weapons. But man, if we had Rashee Rice also, God, can you imagine that?
That'd be too many hands, too many mouths to feed. I'd say.
No, Patrick Mahomes would just spread it around to every single one of them.
Like he usually does. He hasn't done that in a hot minute, though. He has not done that. Hey, Rocky, this hasn't been the year for Pat.
It will be if he wins his third straight Super Bowl.
True, you're right. But hey, you got
it doesn't matter. Like if regular season, keep your regular season awards.
True. If he can Trent Dilfer this season, that'd be great for him.
I mean, Peyton Manning's last Super Bowl, he was garbage.
True.
This isn't even close to Patrick Mahomes' last.
Yeah.
No, he's in his prime. But
just started it. God, they just started it. Gosh, that's ridiculous.
He doesn't care about his stats in the regular season. Neither does Kelsey. And Kelsey leads the team in receiving yards. Kelsey's going to finish with over 800 yards receiving as a tight end. He's going to have a very good and productive year this year and then win the Super Bowl. And people are still going to talk about how he fell off, right? Yep. It's like miss me with all of that. They're 13-1, they have 2-game lead. They're gonna play against the Houston Texans team that could cause them problems. Jamari Conner has a concussion, which means you're probably gonna see a lot more Jaden Hicks. They need to get Steven Nelson. You know,
he'll get into speed. He'll get up to speed this week. I bet he'll be there. I bet he'll play against the Texans.
I bet he will too. They need him in the slot.
Josh Jaden Hicks interception. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Jaden Hicks interception. So there's rumors out there that Josh Uche is essentially done in a Chiefs uniform. Like they don't plan on using him. It makes sense. He's a 6'1", 3-4 outside linebacker that they try to force into the role of a 4-3 Spags defensive end. It just didn't work out. It's fine. It was a 2026 6th-round draft pick. You took a gamble. You took a shot. It didn't work out. That's what happens when you play the lottery. You scratched off a lottery ticket and it wasn't a winner. Big whoop. It happens. But some sad news-ish today because a guy we have a lot of respect for here on the podcast. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was released by the Chiefs today. His tenure with the Chiefs has come to an end. Just couldn't get back on the field. Had a lot of things he was working through. Got mad respect for the guy, though, for putting his mental health first, So love the guy. Always love him for what he did for the kingdom, for being a part of the last 2 Super Bowls, and helping us bring home the trophies. So mad love, Clyde, and you deserve a ring even this year for what you did on the practice squad and in the practices, even though you weren't in the game. So always a Chief, always in our hearts, and we love you, dude. All right, let's look forward to the Houston Texans for a few minutes, then we'll get out of here so that you can go watch your team get safetied and their ass kicked some more. So on paper, people are like, okay, the Chiefs should be able to beat the Texans, even with Carson Wentz, right?
Yeah,
they should. This Texans team, they won their division. They're not a bad team, but they have bad losses on the year, right? Like they lost to the Titans. They lost to the Jets. They got blown out by the Vikings. They lost to the Lions. So like, are they this juggernaut? No. But they also have Nico Collins back. They still have Joe Mixon at running back. They have Tank Dell. They got Xavier Hutchinson. They got Dalton Schultz. And then they have a pass rush. They're super weak at linebacker, but they have good cornerbacks. That tells me Travis Kelce's going to eat. Noah Gray's going to eat. And there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be short passing game again. and the Chiefs are going to run the ball? Question mark.
No, they're not running. They'll never run the football. They're never going to run the football. They just don't even ask for them to do it. They're just not going to.
They're never going to run the football, and then they come out in the 2023 playoffs and run the football like nonstop.
Yeah, but this is the 2023 playoffs, and this is also a team that can actually be playing in the playoffs. So, will you want to force your hand to run the football right now? You know what I mean? Like, this is like you're literally throwing your joke plays out this game because just in case possibility of you playing them in the playoffs.
I think that what you're doing in this game is you're showing them opposite of what you're planning to do in the playoffs. If you're planning on going pass heavy against them in the playoffs, then you run the ball a lot. If you're planning on going pass heavy, then you run the ball. If you're planning on running the ball, then you throw the ball. Like whatever you plan on doing in the playoffs, you do the opposite in this game. So you give them the least amount of tape of what you're trying to do.
I doubt it. Because heck, even if that's the case this past week against the Browns, Browns aren't even a playoff team. Stick with the run. I don't care if it didn't work out.
I agree. They should have stuck with the run against the Browns, right? Because you don't want to put anything on tape. But you don't want to have these guys have like a feel for like what you're trying to do on the field. Like seeing it on tape is one thing, playing against it is another.
This is also a team that's not going to have a full strength of offensive line, so you can do whatever you want. I'd run down the left side anyways, because if you have a better run blocking guy, if DJ Humphries is the actual tackle, if he doesn't play this week and you have Joe Thuney out there, that's going to be a different matchup than you'd see them in the playoffs. That's even if they see him in the playoffs. So I'd say put everything out there on the board, see if we can see what can happen.
I think what you're going to see is the Chiefs run out some new formations and run a couple of plays out of formations that they have plays that they want to run the playoffs out of those formations that they play off of the plays.
Oh, so you can see how they're lined up. Like, yep, they're lined up like this on this certain
like you're going to send somebody on a jet motion sweep that ends up being a handoff that's actually a passing play or a throwback, whatever you want it to be. You're going to do in the playoffs,
like a play action boot almost.
Yeah, you want to see how they respond to it in the regular season with that formation and that look. And so you're going to show a couple of things here, a couple of new looks to see how they respond to them so that you can then build off of that response down the road.
Yeah.
That being said, that's Andy Reid playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers, which he's known for. And so another way, this last thing I'm going to talk about today, Krame, that we're getting out of here. I'm calling my shot on one thing that I think the Chiefs are doing, and I'm going to convince you of it.
All right.
They want you to think that they have Justin Reid doing kickoffs because Harrison Butker is injured, and they are. But when Harrison Butker got injured, I think that the wheels started turning in Andy Reid and Dave Toub's head, and they thought, how can we take lemons and make lemonade? How can we set this up to our benefit in the playoffs? That's what makes you a great coach. You take a weakness and you turn it into a strength.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I'm following.
You lose Harrison Butker on your kickoffs. What have they done recently? Who did kickoffs?
Justin Reid.
Justin Reid. Huh. That's fine. Justin Reid has a history of kicking off. Sure. Maybe Matthew Wright stinks at kickoffs. And so they want Justin Reid doing kickoffs to save Harrison Butker's leg when he comes back because they don't want him to put too much stress on it. They want to use him only for place kicking, blah, 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 blah. That's a great story. But put your tinfoil hat on for this for a second. What if it's all a long game? What if they said, okay, Harrison Butker got injured. This is an opportunity for us to put Justin Reid in there on kickoffs. To improve coverage because he can tackle better than anybody else in the NFL. So the Chiefs tackle coverage is already better because Justin Reid's doing kickoffs, right?
Yeah.
But what if we take it a step further? If you're going to do a dribble kick onside kick attempt in the playoffs, like if you're coming down to a situation where you have to get an onside kick to win the game, who better to attempt a dribble onside kick than a safety? The whole point of a dribble onside kick is you have to get there, to kick the ball, follow it, be fast enough to follow behind there, get there at the same time the defender does, and then be strong enough to hit him, knock him off the ball, and recover it. It's a loose ball drill.
That's the Rocky.
I'm not saying they're going to pull it out like to open the second half like Sean Payton.
Well, you have
something like that in the Super Bowl, but they're keeping it in their back pocket.
The thing is now with the new rule book with the kicking, you have to tell them you're onside kicking before you can actually do the onside kick. So now, as long as Justin Reed can follow that ball and just light up whoever it is,
that's the only
that's literally the only way it's going to work.
When Adam Vinatieri did it and it worked, that was the whole point, is that you kick it because you can't move till the ball is touched. So the kicker is the one that kicks it, and then he follows the ball immediately. It's like with the new onside kick rules, it's probably the highest percentage way to recover an onside kick now.
Yeah, because also if the guy trying to field the football, he's going to see this guy running at him.
And all you got to do is go low and dive for the ball and knock the guy off of it, blow him up, get the ball, rip it out of his hands.
Get him off his legs.
Things that Justin Reed does every single play. Now, I'm not saying the Chiefs are planning for this. I'm saying they've been practicing it, and Andy Reid's like, if I have to have an onside kick to win a game or to win a Super Bowl or to get the ball back at the end of regulation to drive down in 13 seconds to set up a game-winning field goal, this is it. This is why we have Justin Reid doing kickoffs right now, is to have the opportunity to do it then. Because here's the deal. You could say, oh, well, why don't they just have somebody else do kickoffs? And then in the eventual situation that Justin Reid, that they need an onside kick, they bring in Justin Reid to do it, right?
Yeah.
Well, sure. That's fine. But then everybody's going to, I think that you lose, even though you have to declare that you're doing the onside kick now, I think you still lose a little bit of the element of surprise on the dribble kick, because people are going to be like, okay, they brought in Justin Reid to do this onside kick specifically because he's going to be the one to go after the ball, right?
Yeah.
If he's been doing kickoffs for 6 weeks, they're going to be like, oh, he does their kickoffs. He's their kickoff guy. It could be any kind of onside kick at this point. And like still, the probability is probably, maybe they think in their mind, it's a 75% chance that it's a dribble onside kick now that Justin Reid's been doing onside kicks this entire time. But what if it's 85% if he hadn't been doing kickoffs this entire time? That 10% difference in probability in the opponent's mind could be that split second, 1 foot. It's a game of inches, Krame. It's every single micro fraction of an advantage stacked together to give you that advantage to win the game. You give up nothing, right? You take everything, give up nothing. Take every single micro inch you can get.
I hope the Chiefs do this. I really do. At some point in time, I hope we are able to see Justin Reid try to do an onside kick, just so I can see you being a happy man.
Hey, I'm always a happy man when I talk to you, buddy.
Oh, stop it.
All right, Krame, let's get out of here so you can go watch your game. Sorry I kept you longer than I said I was today.
Hey, no, but dude, stop it. Stop it.
I missed you so much. I didn't talk to you in so long. I was just
it has been a minute.
I was basically just just bursting at the seams, I was going full, like you're lucky that you didn't try to give me a hug today, or giving you the full Halle Berry treatment. And then our friendship would have been over.
Been a little awkward after that, yeah.
Yeah, I just would have poked you right with my dick, and then you just would have turned around and walked out the door, hung up the podcast, and it would have been over. Good thing we record from opposite sides of the country.
No kidding.
All right. Well, I love you, buddy. Everybody,
love you too,
thank you so much. I hope you're in the privilege of your time. Happy holidays.
Shout out Larry.
Larry, we love you. We love you all, everybody out there. Love somebody today. Be the good thing in somebody's day, right? Like, be the best part of somebody's day this week. And we love you guys, and we'll talk to you next week.